Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Jane and my husband Mike does everything behind the camera. We're British early retirees, we've got no debt, we've paid off the mortgage and we live a thrifty, frugal and money-saving life here in Brittany in northwest France. And every Wednesday we invite you in for a midweek money chat. Now this Wednesday we're going to share with you our budget for February. It's very detailed, it's comprehensive. I hope it answers everything that you might ask of a budget. How do you budget? When do you budget? How much do you budget? And what do you budget for? We really hope that you enjoy the video. If you find it informative in any way, please hit the thumbs up button, leave us a comment, and don't forget to share this video. Enjoy our February budget. With any budget, you start with the money coming in. We have 2 pensions and our income from YouTube. The net figure is €2,672. That's equivalent to $2,886 or 2,318 UK pounds. You might be asking, is that a little or a lot in France? Minimum wage, net, that's after all deductions for social security, taxes, everything taken off, you are left with €1,462.30. If we both had full-time jobs and brought home minimum wage, we'd have €2,852.60. Most French couples of our age have equally paid off their mortgages too, and would be empty nesters just like us. So you can see we're slightly below minimum wage. Anyone living on minimum wage in any country will need to be frugal with their budget to make it work. You might be wondering what type of budget we use. We run a zero balance budget. This means we budget for every penny with zero left over. We know where every penny is going to go. We never wonder where it went. We know. So where do we keep our money? We have account number 1. We have a long-term savings account and we keep 12 months of living expenses there as an emergency fund. And we keep our long-term savings on top of that. It's an easy access account that gains some interest. Account number 2. We have a second current account that we use to keep our short-term savings for any annual expenses. And account number 3, which is also a current account or a checking account, with a main account in which we keep our day-to-day living expenses. We also keep monies from no-spend days and months in here as a buffer, as even with good planning, an extra need or a planned want has to be funded from somewhere. You might be wondering, what budgeting tool do we use? Well, we use paper. We use the Clever Fox budgeting book. We write a budget each month. We track all our bills and all our spending, and we write down all of our receipts. We use the pages at the back of the book for running totals of short-term savings, so we can track monies in and out. For example, a gift fund, so that we've got a running current total. So is our income static or variable? It's variable. Our pensions stay the same, except for the annual cost of living increase, which is increased in line with inflation. And of course, a small monthly currency exchange variable. So the difference between our pensions from one month to the next might be €10 difference or €5 difference. It's not very big. But our YouTube income varies each month. The algorithm of who sees the videos and when people watch, if they let an advert or a few adverts roll, causes income variety. How do we cope with this? We write a unique budget every single month. Our variable income affects our long-term savings as we save a percentage. It also affects the amount of discretionary spending we have each month. I know many of you watching are not British, and you might be asking, how do we have pensions at 59 years old? We have two pensions. One is the UK state pension, very similar to Social Security in America, for example, that we will get when we're 67. Our occupational pensions that we took as reduced pensions at 55 are from our jobs. They are defined benefits pensions that we get until we die. They increase each year in line with the inflation rate. We paid 10% of our income every single month throughout our career into that to get that pension at 55. What happens if one of us dies? The other gets 50% of the deceased's pension. Our emergency fund will more than cover a cremation. The survivor gets nothing from the deceased's government pension or state pension. Okay, let's get into budgeting for February, and we save first. So we start off with the €2,673 and we save 20% of that into long-term savings. That's 534 of savings this month. On an average year, we save approximately €6,500 into long-term savings, and people ask us why and what are we saving for? It's because we don't know the future. We don't know what we need replacing, and we certainly don't know next year or the year after that what we might want to do with our lives. Next, we put aside €200 every month into long-term savings for a new to us used car in the future. We start saving for the replacement car when we buy the last one. And finally, we set aside €750 a month for short-term savings goals. We'll show you those next. Let's go through our short-term savings, or some people call these sinking funds. These are rolling continuous funds. They get saved, then spent, then filled up again each year. We have a total amount for each fund for a year, then a total amount for all the savings we need to put aside for bills or annual costs, and then divide that by 12 and save that each month. Let's run through those quite quickly. We have Epidemic Sounds is a subscription that we pay for the music you hear in the background. That's 144. Apple and Google storage. We have a lot of uploads. We have a lot to store. That's €72. Car maintenance, that's an annual car service and any tyres and maybe any repairs, €600. Business tax, running a YouTube channel here is a business, and we have something called CFE. It is a business tax, and that's €250. We have 2 chimneys and they both need sweeping, and that's €200 a year. The pets to be groomed, they are Bichon Frises. They need clipping and grooming every 2 months. That's €720. We have €600 a year put aside for any veterinary care that they need. The wood for our heating is €800. Our water bill for the year is €260. Our rubbish, our refuse, our trash, whatever you like to call it, and our recycling is €210. The next thing that we save for is an annual trip to the UK to see family. So we go on the ferry, the car goes on the ferry, that's 2 adults and 2 dogs. We stay in a rental apartment in an Airbnb when we get there for 7 nights. And the total for that, with a little bit of spending money, is €1,600. We've then got a trip to the south of France. We are going to be away for 16 nights. We'll have a hotel on the way down. We will stay in a rental house, a gîte, when we are there for 14 nights, and a hotel on the way back, and including tolls as well, that's €1,000. Our property tax is €800 for the year, and we are a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms on 2.5 acres, and that's €800 a year. Our clothing budget is €600. Probably won't need it this year. It is a no spend year unless something has to be replaced. We have a garden budget of €300. Again, that's a no spend year. Hopefully, by the end of the year, there will be a spare €900 sitting in our bank account that we didn't need to spend on clothes or the garden. And lastly, we have gifts for family, and that's for Christmas and birthdays, and that's €800. So the total, €8,956 of annual costs divided by 12 is €746.44 per month. We round that up to €750 a month. Let's get into our monthly expenses for February. Let's start off with the supermarket. Our budget for that is €400. That's all food, all drink, all toiletries, all cleaning products, all laundry products, all bathroom products is €400. But we keep back €100 of that for if there's any sales, if there's any deals, and we put that for long-term food. For example, if we go to the supermarket and we can find a lot of reduced meat or fish that can go in our freezer, that's the kind of thing we use the €100 for. Next is car fuel. We have one car. It's very efficient. It does 60 miles to the gallon. That's €80. Mike's phone is 10. My phone is 25. Then we have Orange, which is our TV, home phone and fibre internet package, which is €40. Our bank charges is 13. There's no free banking in France. Everybody pays for their bank. Banks in other countries make money on credit cards. Our banks, people here don't have credit cards. And the next is EDF, Electricity de France. Our electricity bill is €108 a month. Next is for haircuts and personal care. I have my face waxed every month. Mike needs a haircut this month, and that's €50 for this month. We then have Les Pousses, which is a donation to a local charity. And then we have 66 this month for butane gas bottles. We have 2 portable heaters in the house. One goes in Mike's office, one goes in my sewing room. And it is super cold at the moment. So we are running supplementary heating in those 2 rooms as well. And we've just run out of both gas bottles this month. We've got our health insurance, which is $110 a month. Home insurance of $32 a month, and car insurance of $60 a month. With any of those insurances, it's no more or less to pay it monthly. It's no saving to pay it annually. And finally is the pet food of €50, bringing our total living expenses for February to €1,064. Let's summarise this budget. So we've got money coming in of €2,673. We put 20% into long-term savings, which is €534. We then have our long-term savings for the future car, which is €200. Our short-term savings for monies budgeted for this year is €750. Our living expenses for February is €1,064. Our discretionary spending for February is €120, giving us our balance of €0, because we have budgeted for every penny and we know where every penny is going to go. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up button. Thank you for leaving a comment, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.